All right, let's go out to Columbus, Ohio, and talk to Amanda. What's up, Amanda?
Hey, John.
What up?
Not much. So I've got a pretty big question here. I am
Okay, go for it.
I am worried that our 5-year-old may be traumatized after accidentally witnessing my husband and I having sex. I'm worried that there may be some negative downstream effects, or I'm just hoping I'm overreacting.
Okay, I gotta paint me the whole picture here. Tell me the story.
Okay, so my husband and I are super careful about making sure that our door is closed and locked. But apparently, her ninja skills, she snuck into our bedroom and hid in our closet. It wasn't until I went to the closet to get dressed and flip the light on that I see her there with her face buried in her knees. So naturally, I go, oh my God, jump out of the doorway, throw on a robe, and ask her, what are you doing in here? She apparently had a nightmare and had snuck in there before we got the door closed.
Oh, she had a nightmare. All right.
Yeah.
She had 2 nightmares, concurrent, we call it. Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. How comfortable are you with me asking like real questions here?
Go for it.
Okay. And this isn't me being like just trying to be like, I don't know, over the top. This is me like asking like for real questions, okay?
Absolutely.
Was it boring under the covers married sex, or were y'all getting after it?
I wish it was the boring under the covers.
Oh, okay, fantastic. Even better.
Yeah.
So
and where she was sitting, technically she could have seen basically everything.
Lights on or off?
There was TV light, so it was illuminated.
Yeah.
She says she didn't see anything.
Well, of
I
course.
asked her.
Of course. Well, I mean, 1,000%. And let's be honest, like what you hear, right?
I'm sorry?
What did she hear?
There would have been some sounds, yeah.
Yeah.
We're expecting our 4th, so I mean.
I don't even know what that has to do with this, but that's fantastic. Oh, man. So, again, I'm not trying to be gratuitous. I'm trying to get a picture of what this 5-year-old experienced, right? What she saw, what she heard. All right. So
there wasn't like yelling or anything like that, but I mean, it wasn't silent.
Okay. Do y'all, I mean, was there, did she hear things that would have scared her? That's the question. Do y'all talk dirty to each other? Was there role playing, or was there, you see what I'm saying?
Yeah, I don't think there would have been anything like that.
Okay. That was just baby 1 and 2, not 3 and 4. All right. So she leaves, you open the door, fully unclothed, and there's your child. How old is she?
5.
5. Clearly in a terrified position, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you jump back, grab a rope. Then what happens? Tell me how you walked through with her. What happened next?
So I brought her over to me and picked her up, and just very calmly, I was very careful about like my body language and tone. Asked her what she was doing in the bedroom, and that's when she said she had a nightmare. And then I asked her, "Did you see anything?" She's like, "No." And then I proceeded to say, "Well, if you did, I'm really sorry if you did. That wasn't meant for your eyes. That's something that's for adult husbands and wives."
Perfect.
She hasn't said anything about it. It's been a week, but I'm worried.
Yeah. So, okay. You handled that about as perfectly as you could handle that. Okay. I'd be willing to bet 99.999% chance she did see some or all of everything. And again, there is a difference between we're under the covers and explaining that, like she's seeing like what looks like under the covers wrestling, if you will. And in those kind of situations, often what scares a kid is she sees a different face on mom, or she sees a different face on dad that she's never seen before. She doesn't have a psychology. She has angry, she has joyful, she has frustrated. She doesn't have ecstasy. She doesn't have that is just a different face, right? And so that often doesn't compute with a kid, and it can scare them. Then there's explaining oral sex, and then there's explaining, oh no, I like it when fill in the blank, right? That's a totally different conversation. And so I think you did the exact right thing. Number one, kids are going to absorb your body language. And so if you're not freaking out, oh my God, but it's like, no, we were totally partying and we're married. It's what we are supposed to do. A, it's awesome. B, and C, you weren't supposed to see that because that's for adults. That's grown-ups. And so you handled that perfectly. Kudos to you. High five to you. All right. So did you ever walk in on your parents?
Not that I remember, no.
No, my mind blocked it out. All of it. Okay. So what makes you think this is you've ruined your child or you're going to scar your kid?
I don't know. I feel like I've worked so hard to try and like put up safeguards, like with using the internet and all that stuff, just to make sure that they don't accidentally see like inappropriate or pornographic images. And I feel like I've failed her in that because she witnessed that.
Okay. I think the question you're asking is so important. And so I'm really grateful. And so I'm laughing because I have a 7-year-old and a 13-year-old. And to my knowledge, they haven't. I'm just laughing because God Almighty, this can happen to all of us, right? But the question you're asking is really, really an important one. Okay, so number one, you and your husband rocking on till the break of dawn in your bedroom in your home is not pornography. And I think we have a habit of dumping all sex into something illicit. Is a 5-year-old too young to see what she saw? Absolutely, no question about it. But there's a difference between her mom and dad and pornography. Okay? And so, A, you didn't ruin your kid. Your kid's going to have some stories to tell. Make no mistake about that. For sure. 100%. But you didn't ruin anybody, okay?
Okay.
Paint me a picture of the conversations y'all have had with her and your other kids about sex before. Or is this the first time?
No, so we were trying to make it like a, not necessarily a common conversation, but one that's not so awkward.
Okay.
Like they know correct anatomical terms, that those areas of their body are not bad areas of their body. It's just they're for them and not for other people.
Okay.
That people shouldn't see it, people shouldn't touch it, that sort of thing.
Okay. So you have done a great job of what I'd call priming the conversation. I also think that this is the awkward part where parents wait for the kid to say something. I've heard parents tell their kids, if you ever have any questions, just come ask me, which is, you might as well tell your kid, never, ever talk to me about this ever as long as you live, right? Because no kid's going to ask their parents after getting caught with looking at pornography on the computer or getting caught hooking up with their boyfriend or girlfriend, or no kid is going to be like, all right, Dad, I'll come ask. And actually, no kid's going to do that. And so I think this is where you have to head directly into the awkward. And I like these along gender roles right now. I think it can. It doesn't have to be, but I think that's a safer way to do it right now, given your home context. But I would take your daughter out and make it something like kind of a special take her out and say, all right, we have to talk about the other night, and say, I'm not mad in any way. You need to not sneak into mom and dad's room, and you know that. But I'm not mad at you at all. But it is important for me to know what you saw. Okay. And if she says nothing, I promise. Say I would push a little bit and see. And if she doesn't want to see, I think then if you haven't explained, here's how sex actually works. And daddy's part goes inside mommy's part. This is how this works. Then I would take that time to have that conversation there. So you're going to start to give her language that she may not have yet, or she may have it, but not know if it's okay to say it out loud. And also, here's the big thing. You're going to talk about sex and how it works and how great it is and the importance of what context it's good and what context it's not good. And more important than the actual words you're saying is she's going to totally absorb your body energy. And if you are awkward and freaked out and scared to death and, oh my gosh, I'm terrified to even be having this conversation, she will put a GPS pin in, sex is not okay to talk with mom about.
All right. I don't want that.
Yeah, exactly, right? And also, you probably don't want to you don't want to explain oral sex to your 5-year-old either, right? You don't do that either. So none of this is like awesome or ideal. But this is our role as parents, right?
Absolutely.
But the calmer you are, the more you smile, the more you laugh, the more you, what did you say? Have you, that kind of thing. And then being real clear about here's the context that's, I think, is important for us. One last thing I would add. Oh, so let me stop you there. So tell me, is that ringing true? Does that feel right?
Yeah. I can totally do that. That's not going to be a problem.
Okay. Do you believe her that she didn't see anything, or do you think she did?
I think that she saw something and maybe got scared and hid her face.
Okay. All right. One question that kids often feel internally when they catch their parents having sex is it appears to them that somebody's getting hurt. And so I think it's important to say, Mommy was not getting hurt at all. In fact, Mommy is really enjoying herself in a private adult thing. And often that's the fear, is somebody's getting hurt, or I don't understand what's happening here. If she saw more, then she saw more, and y'all can kind of dig into that a little bit. And I wouldn't press it, but what I would do is maybe put a pin in it and circle back to it in a couple of weeks, and then circle back to it in a couple of weeks. And the safer she feels to have a conversation about it, then it'll eventually emerge there. You may also want to give her just a small bottle of bleach so she can rinse out her eyeballs.
I know. I feel so bad.
Oh my gosh. Hey, here's the last thing. I'm about to talk about Santa Claus, and so if you have kids listening to the show, you might want to shield their ears from what I'm about to say. 3, 2, 1. All right. So I recently had a conversation with my daughter about I need to have a grown-up conversation with you, and it has to be a private conversation that I'm having with you. And we explained to her for several reasons that Santa Claus is not real, and walked her through it. And every step along the way, I told her, we're having a grown-up conversation, and this is not for you to share with your friends. And I told her about a time when I was a kid, and I blew it. I told a bunch of my friends that Santa wasn't real, and I actually hurt people, and I didn't mean to. I was just trying to be the know-it-all idiot kid. And so I told her that she can really hurt people and ruin some of the magic if she tells her friends, so this is just private between us. And she really took that to heart. And so I would reiterate with your daughter that this is private things. This is not to be shared with her friends at school.
Okay.
And remind her she's only allowed to have secrets with you, with dad, or with the doctor. That's it. That's the only people she can have secrets with. But this one is going to be a private thing between you and dad and her.
Okay.
Is that fair?
Yeah, that sounds super straightforward. I can do that.
And I don't mean this in a erotic way. So I would say, like, I would like to I would love for you to call back and walk me through how you and your husband, the next time y'all are about to hook up, that you start in one corner of your bedroom suite and just go every square inch. I can't wait.
I'm scanning the whole house now.
I can only imagine that's how that's playing out.
That will never happen again if I have anything to do with it.
It 100% will. Hey, what about your husband? What did he have to say about it?
Oh, he was slightly mortified, but he figured, he's like, oh, she'll be fine.
Yeah. On behalf of mental health practitioners around the country, we thank you for your future business, Amanda. Both of you. You may want to make a small account just on the side, just a high yield savings account. You can put a little money in because she's going to need to go to counseling and talk about this, but not really. I don't think you've done such a great job norming talking about body parts, norming what's okay and what's not okay, particularly norming grown-ups in a married, loving relationship can do this, right? And it's okay. And you weren't supposed to see this. This wasn't for kids to see. So you did great. Hey, if you are watching this or listening and you haven't had the body part conversation, there's a great book by Julie Federico. It's called Some Parts Are Not for Sharing. Some Parts Are Not for Sharing by Julie Federico. It's a tiny, tiny little book, but it is a fabulous book to walk through. Really, really excellent book. Best of luck to you, Amanda. And everybody, check your rooms. And on behalf of your kids, lock the door.